What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Patriot Specialized. Today's episode, we got a lot going on. We're going to get that big air handling unit delivered in Northeast PA, run down to Baltimore to the port and pick up a 740 articulating dump truck. We're going to run our happy butt back to the house, get that delivered, and Monday morning, right off the bat, we're going to get a DOT inspection in Ohio. Stick around, a lot to cover.
Right across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's our way of life. We're the last of the cowboys.
All right, guys, so first off, I wanted to talk about the air handling unit that we got delivered down in Northeast. Got in there at 7:45 or 6:45 in the morning. Finally got back in the door about 8 o'clock. These guys, there was a truck in the door. Those guys went as quick as they could to get that stuff done. Unfortunately, it just took a little bit longer than I had anticipated or hoped for. So bottom line is, they still got it done. I got out of there pretty quick as possible. Super nice guys. I had a very good time unloading there. They were good people, good to work with. That makes it all kind of worth it. So I just wanted to say I appreciate that. That's where we're going to pick up this video today. We're going to get that delivery made. What's going on, guys? It is Friday morning. Friday. Why is Friday my favorite day of the week? Get to tell my GPS to go home. So hopefully we're going to make it home today. I had originally thought last night after I talked to this delivery that we would be good to go. I'm starting to question that right now. So I'm at delivery right now. We are at a place called AA Machinery Mover and Storage. Super nice guys here so far. They've been real nice guys. Unfortunately, there was a truck here when I got here, and he is backed in the door right now. And they said they had one piece to take off of him. I don't know. They told me to be here at 7. I got here about 6:45. It is now 7:45. I'm inside the gate, but they got me backing in this door. I'll show you this real quick. Got me backing in this door right here. I don't know if you can see that door on the other side of that truck right there. You can see the top of the door. We're going to be rounding this and backing up in there. I'm going to check and see how high that door is, because way we're sitting on the ground right now, we're about 14 foot tall. Hopefully we fit in the door. There's a gate we had to come in. And it's super fantastic that that vehicle, I don't know if you can see that pickup truck right there. He's parked in the absolute worst spot in the world to park for anybody to be able to turn into this gate. I don't know. There's a whole giant parking lot over there. I'm not 100% sure why he decided to park right there on the road, on the gravel next to the road. I don't know. Maybe these two guys don't get along and he's just parked there to be difficult, but it certainly was difficult getting in here, making this turn, but we got it and we are in here. So right now we're just waiting to back in the door and get this thing taken off. Hopefully, what we're up against here is I'm about 40 miles. I'm currently about 40 miles from Baltimore, 30 miles or so from Baltimore. I need to get to the port, get that articulating dump truck put on, and trying to make it home before dark. Again, we talked about in the last episode, the time change is going to hurt here. It gets dark pretty early, so basically I need to be out of the port. Man, I really need to be out of the port by noon at the very latest in order to have any shot at all at making it home this evening instead of tomorrow morning. So we're gonna see what happens, but I gotta get this thing taken off first, and I feel like, I haven't said it in a while, but I think I'm gonna need to say it again here. Wheels and tracks. Wheels and tracks, Brett. Why do you do this to yourself? If this was an excavator, I'd have been empty about, I don't know, 40 minutes ago. I probably would have been sitting at the port right now. Maybe possibly getting loaded already, so. We're gonna see what happens. Here we go. we got that delivery made. Got out there, I think it was about 8:30, 8:45 or so when I got out of there. Ran my butt down to the port in Baltimore. Got there about 9:30, got checked in. Had a little bit of interesting situation getting into the port, but we got into the port, and we're gonna pick up that articulating dump truck. 1 second. That dump truck all loaded up. We are headed home for the weekend. Hopefully we're gonna have a good weekend. We'll get out the door Monday morning, have no trouble at all. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Right off the bat, Monday morning, I want to talk about this for 1 second because it's actually pretty good for the channel. Pretty good for people to hear. As everybody knows, or you should know by now, Ohio Department of Transportation, Ohio is probably on my top two, probably number one of the states that I really prefer not to go in, which is ridiculous because I live there. However, Ohio DOT, there are so many of these guys, and they're tough. They're not prone to giving breaks, and they're not prone to being easy on situations. So it's kind of known throughout the trucking world. You kind of stay out of Ohio. You're almost guaranteed that you get inside Ohio, within a mile you're going to see a DOT officer. I don't know, there is a lot of them, and they like to do their job. So what traditionally and historically, I should say, I have sort of a negative opinion on the Ohio Department of Transportation, and this little interaction that we had on Monday sort of changed that opinion for me. I got pulled into a scale. This is what happened here. I got pulled into a scale, the Lodi scale, what we call the Lodi scale in Ohio. It's very near Lodi, Ohio, so we call it the Lodi scale. And I don't know what it is about this scale and me and articulating dump trucks, but the last time I got pulled into that scale, I had the same exact load on an articulating dump truck. And they had pulled me in for something completely different than what they pulled me in for this time, which I didn't necessarily agree with. They pulled me in because there was a flag missing marking the load, and it was clear that there was a flag there. The magnet was still there. The flag had just ripped off, and they still wrote me a violation for that. And that, I left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't, and there's a lot more than that leads me to my conclusion about the Ohio Department of Transportation. However, this particular case, they pulled me in, and I went inside and I talked to him, and I told him that I gave him my permit and what I had on, and he said, all right, everything looks good here, let me go show you something. So we go outside, and he's showing me, and the way I had that secured, obviously I didn't cover it on the channel, I didn't make a video on it, but the way I had that thing secured, I had one chain across the back through the tie down points all the way across the back. I had one chain all the way across in the middle, and then I had two chains on the back also all the way across. So 4 chains. Load is 78,520 pounds. I had 4 11,000-pound chains on it, getting full credit for all of them. So I knew I was covered for securement for weight-wise. And what happened there is We got outside, he said, you know, you're within the law and you're within what you should be for the weight of this load. However, we like to see it done a little bit different in Ohio. I'm not sure if it's a federal mandate or if it's just Ohio. I probably will just start securing this way just to be sure, because I don't know if it was federal or not. But what they like to see is they like to see the four corners of each object, all four corners, pinned with their own securement device. So one chain from the unit down to the trailer. Basically, like I secure everything with and when I say you get half credit for that chain, that same idea, either X-chained or straight down or however, they want to see each corner have its own securement device. So, and then after you do those four corners, then you can throw any chain you want all the way across to adjust for the weight that you need. I didn't know that. I didn't necessarily understand when he was explaining it to me. I was like, man, I'm not really sure what you're talking about here. So he took some time. He explained it to me, and the why of it, not just the how of it, but the why of it too. And I very much, I appreciate that. I appreciate knowing why things are the way they are. It makes it easier for me to, number one, remember, but also number one, justify in my mind why I'm taking the time to do that. So in the end, what I told him was, you know, this is no problem. I just break out two more binders, do a little bit of adjustment here, and I can have it the way you want it. And he said, I appreciate that. Shook my hand, walked inside. And as he's walking away, I said, you know what? After he shook my hand, I said, you know, I just wanted to say, I appreciate the interaction that you and I just had. I appreciate the fact that you didn't come out here and just point something out and write me a violation on it. You came out here and it was about education. So you told me why, you told me how, you told me why, and you told me what I needed, but you saw there was no need to write a violation for that I obviously knew what I was doing. I had the weight of the load covered. It just wasn't exactly how the way you wanted. And I appreciate the fact that the way this whole interaction between us just went. And I just wanted you to know that coming from someone with a very negative standpoint on the Ohio Department of Transportation, you sort of made changed my opinion a little bit on that. And he said, I appreciate that. He said, that's kind of the way I see it. And I said, that's the way it should be. This shouldn't be about writing violations. This should be about making sure it's safe going down the road. And that's what you did here. And I appreciate that. So that he walked away, and I was in the process of changing that securement to the way he wanted it. Came back out and he said, I'm going to go ahead and do a level 3 inspection on you. And I'm like, uh-oh, he walked inside and somebody said something to him, and now I'm going to end up with a violation out of this. So he did his level 3, went through everything, went through my logbook, went through all the checks on the truck, took my license, my bills, went inside, and I finished up what I was doing. And when he came back out, he had paper in his hand, and I'm like, ah, man, here we go. Here we go. You know, I reverted right back to the historical thought process of how I felt about Ohio. And he walked up, he said, listen, I just wanted you to know that I think that you guys, your company takes very good care of their equipment. Clearly, you have nice equipment. You obviously care about how you're hauling the freight and what your equipment, how well maintained your equipment is. You care about that. You guys have a good safety record. And obviously the securement that we had going on there, that wasn't that you were undersecured, it was just that it wasn't how we'd like to see it. So I didn't see any reason to write any violation. You did a fantastic job. Your equipment's nice. Your logbook is good. He said, I want to do a level 3, and here's your paperwork that shows no violation. I was like, or no defects found. And I was like, wow, you know what? I need to apologize to you, because I automatically assumed when you did that level 3 that you were going to write me a violation, and you needed the paperwork to be done so you could write me the violation. I said, and here we are, not in that case. So I need to apologize to you, and I'm sorry that I automatically thought that. So there you go, guys. That was something that I wanted to say. I thought was interesting and was a positive side to the Department of Transportation and to the inspections that we get. I wanted to share my experience there so that you guys can see that it's not necessarily all bad. And I think that part of that was my interaction with him as well. I wasn't out there thinking I knew more than him. I wasn't out there copping that attitude. I wasn't out there being frustrated because he pulled me in. You know, obviously at first I'm like, oh man, here we go. You know, everybody has that immediate interaction or that immediate reaction to this. But I didn't treat it that way when I was speaking with him. I treated him with respect. He treated me with respect. And it wasn't even that it was like a thought process of respect. I just treated him like a human being. And when he was explaining things, I asked questions because I didn't understand, and he was very good at answering them, pointing them out. So I think that it goes to show you that if you have an interaction that's positive with a DOT officer and you explain where you were coming from, what you were thinking, they will in turn will explain what they're thinking and why they think that. And it just goes to show you that that interaction will make all the difference in the world. And I do believe that this, because had I had an attitude, or had I treated him like he didn't know what he was talking about, or had I pulled the whole I've been trucking for 25 years and I know better than you, had I pulled that whole attitude, I would have ended up with violations. No doubt in my mind, he would have found something. He would have wrote me for the securement, or he would have done something. He would absolutely would have. And I think that the interaction between him and I is why I didn't receive violations that day. So that was, I just kind of wanted you guys to know, that was my personal experience, just happened to me yesterday, and I thought it was worth bringing up. So there you go, not all negative, even though I am very hard on the Ohio Department of Transportation. I am very hard on the inspections in Ohio, and my opinion is really low, but that interaction yesterday brought my opinion up a little bit and makes me feel a little bit better. So that's a good thing, and that's what it should be, and that's
We ride across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all.